and to speak on the topic of the return of the sacred masculine, and with it a remarrying of the divine feminine and the sacred masculine. And that's what I'm talking about tonight, that we have to bring back a balance. Women have been exploring their spirituality, telling their stories for 40 years in our culture, and in the process empowering themselves and making a difference. But one has to ask whether the men have kept up. While there has been a male movement, a male liberation movement and so forth, it's not gone deep enough, it's not gone broadly enough. It has not been inclusive enough. So time is running out on our species. Time is running out on our species. I met with a very renowned biologist at Stanford University a year or two ago, a man who, by the way, practices the red way in a very serious way. And he said to me, you know, we're the first species in 4.5 billion years on this planet that can choose not to go extinct. The first species in 4.5 billion years that can choose not to go extinct. But, he added, of course, we haven't made that choice yet. We haven't made that choice yet, and time is running out. And we're not going to get it right until we get a new balance of the healthy masculine and the healthy feminine. So that's what I'm here to stir things about tonight. And because we're talking about the sacred masculine does not in any way exclude women for a lot of reasons. First of all, of course, you have men in your lives. You have husbands, you have lovers, you have fathers, you have sons, you have grandsons, you have co-workers, you have uncles. So you've got an investment in what the men are doing and are not doing for sure. But in addition, of course, the woman's soul is part masculine just as the man's soul is part feminine. And if we've been running on a distorted masculinity in our culture for centuries, then that means that women, too, have been living something of a toxic existence because the masculinity has been poisoned across the board. Now, what about this theme of the hidden spirituality of men? Why do I say hidden? First of all, because I think many men are spiritual and they don't know it. We're hidden from ourselves. And there are a number of reasons for this, one being that our culture has confused religion and spirituality. And so many men who do not see themselves as religious think that, oh, then I'm not spiritual. But it works the other way around too. Many men who are religious think they're spiritual. And it ain't the same thing. So the hiddenness can happen across the board. Spirituality is also hidden from us men because many of us are taught from the youngest ages that men are not supposed to get in touch with our deepest feelings of grief, of joy. We're also supposed to be in control, that boys don't cry and men don't cry. And this lesson is carried throughout the culture. It's a very deep lesson, sometimes taught us non-verbally and unconsciously, but nevertheless taught us. But there is a dimension to the hidden spirituality of anyone that should remain hidden. The mystery that divinity is, the mystery that spirit carries, is always bigger than anything we can name, than anything we can put in a book. And so there is a side of divinity, the ancients call it the apophatic divinity. The great mystic Meister Eckhart says that this side of divinity has no name, will never be given a name. It's pure mystery. And from that point of view, it will always be hidden. And it will only be in moments of unveiling and moments of revelation that that mystery even comes close to us so that we begin to experience His presence. Many of us men were looking to the Great Mother for salvation, but nobody I knew was seeking right relationship with the Great father. We all seem to be reacting against the terrible father, the one who sires reason cut off from love, truth hardened into static form, law void of compassion. But there was no mention of any positive masculine alternative. And that's what I want to get in with you tonight, the positive masculine alternatives. And my approach is to draw on 10 archetypes, 10 metaphors for masculinity that are very ancient, very ancient. And they're with us still because, by definition, an archetype is universal. And it can pop up when it's needed at any time in any culture. And now I think is that time that men need and boys need and women need strong and healthy archetypes, metaphors of the sacred masculine. Okay, the first of these archetypes, the first of the metaphors that men need to begin to truly drink in today is that of Father Sky. Now, among the ancient peoples of the world, among the indigenous people around the world, Sky is recognized as Father, Father Sky. Now, 10% of human populations talk about Father Earth and Mother Sky, not Mother Earth and Father Sky, such as the Egyptians talk about Father Earth, Mother Sky. That's cool. That's real cool to know that none of this should be taken literally. One thing I've learned in 68 years of living is that nothing important should be taken literally. That's what's wrong with the fundamentalists. They get it all wrong. Everything important in life is a metaphor. Whether you're talking love, sex, God, spirit, it's all metaphor. And that's why it opens your soul up. And it opens your heart up. Because it's an invitation to enter in, not to pound down or use as a bludgeon. Now, what happened in the modern era is this tradition of Father Sky, which is found not only among indigenous peoples, but even in the Bible. After all, Jesus' prayer says, "Our Father who dwells in the heavens." Pure indigenous consciousness. Father Sky. But in the modern age, in the last 300 years, science taught us that the sky was a machine. The sky was dead and inert. It was a junkyard for mechanical parts. That, my friends, sucked the soul out of men. We no longer could look to the sky to invest our greatest passions of love, of moral outrage, of beauty. We had to hunker down. We had to hunker down and join the Industrial Revolution, which also did its wounding to our souls. We had to shrink our souls because Father Sky was no longer out there. And this has a lot to do with the rise of violence in the last 300 years and, I think, the rise of addictions. But the good news is that today's science has obviously broken through the mechanical universe as a metaphor and is finding that the sky is fully alive. A star is being born every 15 seconds. Let me say it again. A star is being born every 15 seconds. Galaxies are growing. They're living their lives. They're dying, spewing out their elements to start new planets, new stars. Supernova explosions are going on doing the same thing. There's a drama going on all around us in the sky. It's fully alive. Never have we been more aware of how fully alive it is. We're picking pictures up from the Hubble telescope of the birth, life, death, and resurrection of stars, galaxies, supernovas, planets, all of it. What an invitation for men to take our beaten down souls and reinvest them in what is truly worthy of their depth and breadth and passion.